Welcome to this brutally honest conversation because that is what we are going to do inside today's session. I am coming to you to discuss something that happened that I realized yesterday as I was reflecting on my journey so far on the quarter one of 2026. And I realized that this has been my lowest income quarter since the very beginning of my journey, which is what I wanted to figure out why it happened. Okay. And what I want to share today, it will help you whe- if it will help you if you have a big desire and you still have not fulfilled it, or if you give yourself answers like, I'm not sure if I have the energy to go to that. I want to eat healthy, but I have my family. So I can't cook an extra meal. It's a lot of work. I want to write, but I don't have enough time. So if these are the things that you keep telling yourself, this is a conversation that is going to benefit you a lot. I also shared this inside my group session today, and it was an eye opener for all of us actually. So I'm going to share an exercise also that I did with my clients so that you can integrate this work together. Okay, we'll integrate this work together. So let's jump back to what I was sharing about my journey. Okay, so I have jumped from coaches to coaches to figure out the best way to do business. And I am somebody, and this is the misalignment, okay? And I'm somebody who helps other people live their life their way. So, especially women, we've been told, we've been given a rule book. We have so many notions, we have so many beliefs about ourselves, which are most often borrowed beliefs that this is how we need to be. And I realized that towards the end of 2025, I realized that I was doing it in my business, that I was actually following somebody else's guidebook to run my business, and that is so not in alignment with my business, because if I am talking to people about how to create your life your way, then my business includes in my life. So I need to create my business also in my own way, right? And I'm the person who is more frequency, more energy than strategy. Okay. So I actually changed that. So I was honest with myself in 2025. And I found coaches who actually were able to help me with my own strategy, coming up with a strategy that is backed by my frequency and all of that. But this time when I sat, I reflected on 2026 and January specifically, where I had written down all the things that I wanted to do, and I had promised myself that this is the agreement that I have with myself, that I'm going to follow my word, I'm going to follow this routine, I'm going to follow this and that, and I realized that I have unfinished projects, I have unfinished things, and because of those unfinished projects and promises, my income was reflecting that. Now, I did not make it mean anything about my worth because that's not who I am. I'm unstoppable, regardless of what I earn, what I don't earn. Those are not complementary things, those are not even related. I'm unstoppable no matter what. But I realized that I also need to be in my entrepreneurial mindset. I need to take it seriously. More importantly, I don't need any strategy. I know what I want. I know what I like. I know what have to do. The thing that I was not doing is being brutally honest, which is what I sat to do. I was like, Ishani, you need to stop lying to yourself. When you say that I want to have so and so business and I want to earn so and so, are you taking steps towards it? And I was able to list down all the unfinished projects, and which meant that I was not taking action. If you don't take any action, there is no result. It is as simple as that. Then I asked myself, Ishani, why? And the answer that came were basically excuses. Okay. So I have been dealing with a weird bit, a weird phase in my health which is something that I'm working towards. But I realized that when I actually don't speak what needs to come through me, I get throat issues. When I am not confronting people who I need to confront, I get gut issues. When I'm not seeing what I need to see, I get eye issues. And all of that was happening. So I so after that realization, my health started to also get better. And I was like, Ishani, you need to take your own tools seriously. And if you are somebody who has done a lot of personal development, self-help work, you might resonate with me, right? Like we need to constantly be using our own tools, not to prove anything to anybody, but to keep embodying the processes, the concepts that we teach about. And I honestly, this conversation that I had with my clients is inside the container that I have called the Unstoppable CEO, which is the Unstoppable Chief Embodiment Officer. So I'm all about embodiment, right? I need to embody what I'm saying, what I'm preaching. So I realized that I have actually been lying to myself. I'm not embodying the concepts, the processes, the promises that I made to myself. And that is so big. And I'm not sharing this because I want to. I'm sharing this because I know that it's not just me. And that's why coaches and guides and people who can actually call us out on our own bullshit are so important. I have my coaches, and that's why I can, even have the capacity to think about all these things, because you need somebody who can hold you and call you out without you thinking that they are biased, or without you taking it as an offense. A coach provides that, right? So for me to be able to provide that to my clients, I also need to look in the mirror and realize all these things. And these self-coaching tools that I've developed for myself help me do that. So anyway, all of this realization led me to be like, Ishani, enough is enough. You need to act on what you're saying. So I'm going to do that. But how I did that? So I want to take you to the process that allowed me to come to this conclusion that I was not being honest with myself. And I want to also share this exercise that I made my clients also go through, which is now helping us take action towards what really we want, right? So here is what you'll do. I'll actually share my screen and I'll share my whiteboard. So let's do it together. Okay, so this is called the brutally honest exercise. Brutally honest exercise. So pick up a sheet of paper and I want you to write down my unfinished projects / promises. So both intangible and tangible things. Okay. Then I want you to create a column, and the next column you're going to ask yourself why. Okay. Then you're going to create another column. Where is it? Okay. You're going to create another column and you're going to write down, do I still want it? Then there is another column, which is the fourth column, and you're going to ask why. And the last column, which is going to be one action I can take today. So this is going to help us be brutally honest with why I have not why I have not been able to fulfill my promises to myself. This is not about anybody else. This is not about how much money you have made, how much it's nothing, okay? Because you are unstoppable. And all these results and anything else is just a it's just a byproduct of who you are, okay? But you are also so much beyond this, okay? But for now, I want us to actually be honest with ourselves and realize that there are so many things that we say that we'll do, but we postpone ourselves. We postpone our dreams. We postpone our desires. And I want us to understand, why do we do that? So one thing that I can share is that growth and comfort don't live in the same room. So when we are very comfortable with where we are, even though consciously you are like, I want to be this and I want to do that and all of that, but subconsciously, if your identity is attached to this comfortable version, and anything that is familiar is comfortable, so the identity that you have is familiar to you right now, your nervous system, your mind, body, soul will ensure that you stay in that position, in that identity. It's all comfortable. Otherwise, there'll be a fracture in who you are and who you are trying to be, right? And for that, it requires additional energy to mend that gap, to bridge that gap. But that is the quantum leap. That is what people talk about, right? In the manifestation world. Anyway, so let's come back to this exercise. You may start with your unfinished promises. And so what I want you to do is, let's say that your unfinished project or promises eating healthy. For example, very simple example, that I want to eat healthy, but I have not been eating healthy. So now you need to give yourself an answer about why. Why is that? So now this is where it will get uncomfortable, but when it gets uncomfortable, you get into the room of comfort. Oh, sorry, you get into the room of growth. Okay. So here is where the growth starts to happen. So you need to be very, very honest with yourself, because it's the brutally honest exercise. You be honest with yourself. Why is this? Why am I not able to eat healthy? And then you might realize that, for example, one of my clients had a very similar thing, and she realized that she has this notion that, see, she has these different notions about what a healthy meal is, how a healthy, no, actually, wait, I'm combining the two. So, okay, so my client, I'll give you this example. So my client wanted to post consistently, and she had this notion that she needs to be in a high energetic state in order to be consistently posting. So her why was that I'm not able to be consistently posting because my energy keeps dipping. And when I'm not in the energetically high state, I don't post. That was her why, which is fascinating, because who told her that you need to be only highly energetic in order to post on YouTube? So this is a bullshit. This is a bullshit reason that she's giving herself, right? So I helped her reframe it inside the session. But you go, move forward, okay? So do you still want it? After giving yourself the why, do you still want it? That this is more important. So our values keep changing, our priorities keep changing. Maybe something really crucial happened in your life, specific happened in your life, which allowed you to be like, you know what, this is not even important. So you can be very specific. So if the answer is no, because whatever the reason, you write it down. But if the answer is yes, I still want it, so then you answer why. Why do you still want it? Okay. Or even for no, you can still want it. So why do you want it? Then you write down your answer, and then you write down, and this is what changes everything. After you've written down the why, you have to give yourself a very simple action towards that unfinished project. So let me give you my example. So my one of the main projects that I had is Codes by Source. If you remember, if you are an OG here, you remember that I said that I'm going to do a 90-day live series. Okay, so my unfinished project is this. Now, my one step towards it is that I am going to do a daily writing practice. Okay, I'm not sharing all the other things. I can if you want me to in the comments, but So my one action is I'm going to do a daily writing practice, because it allows me to connect to source. It allows me to receive those guides, um, those quotes, those codes. And then if I'm doing that on a daily basis, then I can come live and share it with you. So one thing that I'm going to do from here on is a daily writing practice, which allows me to not think about several other 100 things, which allows me to be brutally honest with myself that this is the least that is required. And I've been lying to myself that this requires a lot of work, but it doesn't, right? So in a nutshell, that is how this exercise helped me to figure out an action plan for my unfinished projects. It also allowed me to understand the why I've been delaying it, why I've been postponing it, and now I'm not going to do it anymore. So you're going to watch a lot of my content, not because I want to post a lot. It's just because I've been delaying a lot of things and I don't want to anymore, because I know my reasons now and I need to be out there sharing my insights, sharing my voice. It's so important for me. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to know what is coming up. If you want any reframe, you can just share in the comments and I'll help you with it. I'm just checking my notes if there is anything else that I would want to. Yeah. So the other thing that I want to tell you is, well, I'll stop sharing my screen, that the outcome is not in your control, right? The only thing that is in your control is your action. And that's why I'm so bullish on action. And I realized that I was not acting on what I actually want. So I am doing that. And I want you to also act on what you want. Because if you don't act on what you want, who will? And output, again, the result you might receive in a day, in a year, in 10 years. But if you don't act, then you'll not receive the results, right? So the only way to ensure that you you have a 90% chance of receiving what you want, if it's in the best interest of you, if it's um in the highest good for you, is to actually act, to take action towards it. Stop postponing yourself, stop delaying yourself, act, be honest about why you are even delaying. If you're delaying yourself, why is it? Okay, don't give yourself bullshit reasons. And also keep asking yourself, do I still want this? This question is so important, because sometimes we write down the things that we want because we think that this is what we should have. And if I keep asking myself, do I still want this? Do I still want this? I will eventually figure out that, you know what, this is exactly what I want. And this is probably I don't want, because I had written it down because I thought everybody expects me to do this. Okay. So I'm somebody who reflects a lot, so I'm just giving you everything. Your thoughts can take you towards. Okay. And the last thing that I want to say before I wrap up today's conversation is daily writing practice, which is what I'm going to do, is something that I recommend to all of you. Okay. Because it really helps you connect with source, God, universe, whatever you call it, but it also allows you to connect with yourself first, and God, source, universe later on. The more you connect with yourself, the more you realize all your bullshit reasons. You realize how dishonest you were, how honest you were. You know what? Honestly, this conversation, this exercise actually came through my writing practice. I wrote it down yesterday and I started with, okay, Shani, time to be serious. Your unfinished projects. And I started writing down. And this concept came out in this. So if you're a writer, if you're creative, and I'm pretty sure that if you're here, you are already a creative person, somebody with big dreams, somebody who has a desire to create their own legacy, or help more people create their impact. A good or daily writing practice will help you. It also takes off the pressure to be perfect. It also takes off the pressure that I am going to do this alone, because this writing practice has helped me write so many posts, create content, create masterclasses, create conversations. So it will also help you with whatever field you are. This is going to help you. So if you want to take anything from this, take that exercise, do it, be brutally honest with yourself, because you don't need any strategy, you don't need anything else. You just need to be brutally honest with your own self, because everything changes from there. And second is the daily writing practice. That is it from my side. If you have any questions, you can comment them down below in the comments. And if you want to work with me, I'll link a one-to-one exploration call so that you can reach out to me. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful good night day whenever you're watching me. Take care. Bye bye.